What's up? It's me, Lisa. Bose Ultra Open Earbuds are one of my favorites. As a musician, sound is the most important part of the process. I've been so busy and always on the move, so if I can keep my music with me wherever I go, that would keep the inspiration going. The look of the Ultra Open Earbuds remind me of ear cups, so I would style it like an accessory. Check out Bose.com for more.
With Lululemon, the real gift happens when they're living in it. When you give them the softest loungewear set, the real gift is this. And this. And this. This holiday, Lululemon makes it easy to give a gift that goes beyond. Open the moment. Shop now at lululemon.com.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/campaign to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Welcome to Book Talk for Book Talk, a podcast where we deep dive into the writing of your favorite novels.
This is Jac.
And I'm Amy. In Season 2, we explored Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Mist and Fury.
In our post-season content, we look forward to sharing listener feedback we received as well as interviews with some exciting guests. You can also expect to hear some special listener-requested content.
The views expressed by the hosts and guests are entirely their own and in no way represent the thought or intentions of the original author. This podcast is a discussion shared to spark thought and conversation on the characters and themes of this novel.
Though the hosts speak mostly within the constraints of this book, series spoilers may be discussed with or without warning. Explicit language as well as themes of sex, violence, abuse, self-harm, and depression will reoccur throughout this podcast. Listener discretion is advised. We want to thank all of our Patreon supporters with a special shout out to our Trophy Wives. Our October 2022 Trophy Wives are Haley, Jessica, Alexa, Rhiannon, Sam, and Allison. Thanks, Trophy Wives. Anthony Palmini is a voice actor, video editor, director, and film composer. His experience in the industry is vast, from composing music for independent films to assisting with editing for TV shows on major networks to directing promotional videos. You may recognize Anthony, or Anthony's voice, from his role as Rhysand in the graphic audio production of A Court in Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas. Welcome to the show, Anthony.
Hello. How are you?
Good. We're so excited to have you on. Just like the voice of Rhysand. This is the listeners have been asking for this.
Wow, that's so great to hear. I'm so excited to just be on the other side. It's like I was saying before, it's interesting to record something and put it out there, and then you kind of hope that you bring whatever character you're voicing come to life. And I'm so thrilled that people like my interpretation or my, voice of Rhysand. So it's great. It's great to hear.
We're so excited to have you. I remember when Jac was like, do you really think we can get the voice actors on the show? I was like, I don't know. So we're thrilled that you're excited to be here, excited to be with us.
You're like ACOTAR talk royalty.
Well, yeah, right? No.
Yeah, I mean,
character, yeah.
High Lord and everything else.
Yeah.
Yes. So, absolutely thrilled. And we'll get all of the inside scoop for everyone here.
Ooh, yes. Yeah. Hopefully I can say things that won't get me in trouble.
Right. That won't violate the NDA or whatever it is.
Right.
Turns out you have the secret to the entire series and you're like, right. Rhysand is actually the reincarnation of, and then
my audio cuts out.
Yeah.
Graphic audio comes from me. They're like, you're not supposed to say that.
Yeah.
Well, to start off with, how long have you been a voice actor and what brought you to graphic audio?
I've been a voice actor now For about 6 years. I would say the last 2 years, I just focused on voice acting because, as you did in your lovely intro, as you explained, I do a lot of things in the industry, and so voice acting was always there, but it was almost kind of on the side.
Mm.
And then one day I was editing for a TV show on MTV, and they needed somebody to just kind of do like a scratch voiceover, which is like just voiceover as a template, and then they'll hire somebody else. And they're like, "Do you want to do it?" I was like, "Yeah, actually, I kind of dabble." And they were like, "All right, go ahead." And I did it, and they were like, "Wow, it's really good. We're gonna keep it in there." And so,
nice.
That kind of like, it's like, I kind of want to do this, and I kind of like doing this more. And so then I would say like 2016, 17, I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead, focus just on this, and within the last 2 years, it's really been just ramping up. So. Yeah,
that's so cool. And then I guess that, have you been doing audiobooks as well, or is it graphic audio your main literary narration?
Yeah, they're actually my main literary narration because I usually do commercials and animation, and so I've never done audiobooks. It's funny because I was interested in it, and then somebody had mentioned me to go to a casting that they had through graphic audio. And so I said, well, I haven't done audiobooks before. I don't know if I'm going to, let me try it out. So I tried it out, and they were like, yeah, totally. You should totally, be on our roster. I was like, oh, great. All right, cool. And yeah, and it's funny. I think, I forget which book it is, but my very first like narration was as Rhysand, when he's talking about the battle. Like that whole part, like that's my very first full just narration. Like I've never done
at the start of Wing and Ruin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
So I was really nervous at that time because I was like, well, I've kind of done narration, but this is like here we go. Like this is it.
Yeah.
And it's an important, like, I've already been with the character and what I'm saying, I'm like, okay, I think I can do this. And then my director kind of guided me through it, and I was just like, all right. And so that was my first time like actually doing narration. So
yeah, dabble in audiobooks, man. Like that's I don't know how that's industry's like, but I know I get loyal to narrators, and then I'll listen to books that they narrate, even if I don't know anything about the book. I just like the narrator.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've been really thinking about that. Yeah,
you've got the voice for it for sure. I think I'm partial to certain types of voices. If I'm going to listen to 24 hours worth of narration, I want to enjoy the voice that I'm listening to.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's very, very true. So did you know about ACOTAR before you started the project? Like, had you heard any rumblings of it?
Unfortunately, I didn't. And I think that kind of helped me in not put so much pressure when I had the audition. When they had given me when they pitched the audition to me, I was like, okay, this book already sounds like it's popular, but I don't know how popular it is. And I think a part of me was like, let me not deep dive into how popular this book is, because I want to just kind of go in this audition blindly and just focus on the character. And
that's probably a wise move.
So smart. So smart. I mean, people get very defensive and protective of their characters and of this book. Like, I'm sure you know that they're also, I think, in production, or at least they're trying to be on Hulu for the TV series. Yeah. And I mean, the passion these fans have. So at least like with the graphic audio, everyone was just like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Like everyone sounds great. It's like, okay, cool. Everyone, you passed the audio Rhysand test with everyone.
I was like, whoo. Yeah. So I, and then of course, as I was reading the book and starting to learn more about the story, I was like, yeah, I totally would have been interested in this. I love that kind of fantasy. I grew up in those type of books in the sense of like a fantasy book. And so I like that aspect of, it's like, it's another world. It's about, these characters and the High Lords and, and the Fays and like everything about it. I'm reading it and I'm like, yeah, I can gravitate into this world and this character and not be like, I've never read anything other than autobiographies or something, you know, what do you mean, like, other than Earth?
What part of England is this set in again?
Yeah. Right. So I totally was like into it. I was totally into it. Yeah.
Yeah. I cannot imagine like reading the series knowing that you're the character. Like, just I'm trying to like wrap my head around it, Amy, of like reading the series for the first time, being like, okay, well, I'm Rhysand, so this is the character, and then finding out everything that happened to him. I'm sure that was just like a journey within itself, being like, they're mates. Like,
yeah. Even that, like, that was, again, like, the audition just gave me a snippet of it, and I hope I'm not jumping ahead, but I think the reason why I kind of gave a true performance was like, I kind of knew there was something more to this character, because they gave me only a snippet of a scene. And I think it was, I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was just mainly him and his rage and him kind of his defiance. And I'm like, I feel like there's a reason behind this. And this guy has to have some sort of a backstory that I can't just go at it with just like, he's just mad to be mad. Like, there has to be a purpose to that. And then when I found out why, I was like, wow.
You're like, trauma checklist. Can we please go through this more?
Yeah, exactly. So the more I learned about his past, and the more I learned about like the guards of his just to protect himself of like his emotions and getting close to people, and why he says certain things, and then being with Amarantha. And it's just, it's amazing. I was like, wow. So I really like the idea of finding out this character as I'm reading the book, and then kind of doing those choices of like, oh, this is why he's saying this, or this is why he's doing this. So,
I mean, with Rhysand, you have so many layers with him. Like, he never just says what he means. Like, I think Amy and I, we call him like the honest liar, where everything he says is true, but a lie.
Exactly. It's the truth you need to hear from him, but it also is something he needs to hide, because if you knew exactly what the truth was, it would change and be like, whoa, this is actually what's happening. And there's those moments where it comes out and he has to kind of play it off like, well, yeah, this is what I must do. Like, you know, I have to do it this way. So, yeah, I love it.
So we kind of already addressed our next question, so I might tinker with it a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
Now that you know how big the fandom is for A Court of Thorns and Roses, and how much people love Rhys, you know, how has that impacted your performance as you continue to record for Wing and Ruin?
I try not to because it's so funny. I was protecting myself from not reading about how big it is before the audition. But now as I'm recording it and I'm learning more about how big it is, I kind of check myself and say, I love to hear that it's working, but I also don't want to put too much pressure of like, well, now everybody is saying it's good, so you have to be good every book. Because it's like, no. What got me that was I was just doing what I was doing and just, you know, digging into the character, getting the reasons why the performance needs to be this way. But then like a part of me is like, I'm also a little relieved of like, at least I know it's working.
Yeah.
And at least I know that there is a massive audience for this. And I want to make sure that I bring this character truthfully and continue to have that experience of like, I know how precious this character is to you. Because I may not have been from this genre of like what I was originally into. But I'm like, you know, I'm a comic book fan. I'm a movie fan. So adaptation and how aggressive or how passionate that can be, I get it. And so I want to make sure that I continue to do that and have the fans be like, okay, this is, you know, he's taking his time and really bringing this character to life. So
I think it shows, honestly.
Yeah, I think you're a better person than me. It would be really hard to not let that get to my head of like, they like me.
It's, no, I mean, like the consideration and everything you put into it, it's definitely there in the performance.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. And I try to not let it get to my head. I really try to just stay away And to that point, I'm like, oh, well, thank you. Well, I try, and I get away from that. Like, no.
Oh yeah, just ignore this entire podcast episode then. We're here for something entirely different.
No.
Fall has officially started here in Los Angeles, and that means we finally get to do fall activities. I have been counting down the days for when I can go to pumpkin patches, maybe even hit up an apple orchard, and I get to do all of it looking super cute in my Quince boyfriend sweater. This weather is perfect for my dark academia vibes, and I'm so excited to bust out my washable silk blouse because I'm going to be taking pictures. Quince is known for their Mongolian cashmere sweaters from $50. And that's not all. Quince has so many other amazing things on their website. All of those items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. That includes leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim. Like, my entire fall wardrobe is genuinely turning into Quince wardrobe. By partnering directly with top factories and cutting out the cost of the middleman, we get savings as the customer. One of my favorite parts about Quince is the fact that they only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. And they still manage to get premium fabrics and finishes for that, luxury feeling for every item that they have. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/booktalk for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/booktalk, BOOKTALK, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. That's quince.com/booktalk.
His code name's Jackal. He's an exceptional assassin.
Streaming now on Peacock.
He will kill again, unless we stop him.
Academy Award winner Eddie Redmayne.
You're paying me to kill him. I am charging you for getting away.
The Jackal's here. Look at the exits.
BAFTA Award winner Lashana Lynch.
I will find him, and I will kill him myself. I like to win.
So do I.
The Day of the Jackal. Streaming now, only on Peacock.
So what about Rhysand do you try to channel when you're performing? Because like you were saying that there's a lot to him of what's going on. And I don't want to say he has different personalities, but the range to him. Like, he has so many different emotions, and SJM isn't afraid of diving into every single one.
Everyone, yeah.
So like, what is it in particular that you look for when you're channeling that?
That's a good question. I think, and it's so true, because he does have these almost different parts of, everybody does, right? Yeah. They have the different parts of these personalities, but it's so funny because like when he's like the charming kind of like, I don't care, like everybody, let's have fun. I've always like thought of a mixture of like a Loki or
I see that.
I do too.
Or even I don't know if you guys know, like Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Don't Amy here. Hardcore Buffy fan. Yeah.
Right?
Hardcore Buffy fan. I see it.
And that was the first two people that I was like, I like what they do, where you get that they are the hard exterior, but they're playful about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't mind being playful about it. Like, you look at them and you're like, oh, okay, this person just seems to not really care, but I'm also kind of frightened, but I'm not really frightened about this person right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then the twist when he does get angry, again, it's like, I think of like Spike or like Loki or like this. I really feel like because he's channeling almost like an animal, like an animalistic, like I try to get into that, like, this is different. Like something's happening. There's energy. There's something going on, but I still want to keep that part of him. So I try to merge those two together.
That's so crazy, where it's like, I never in a million years would have associated like Loki and Spike with Rhysand, but the second you said it, I was just like, oh my, yes, that's
exactly who he is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That like charming predator.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, so I try to use that. And then for the steamier scenes, I just try to like go with like, again, a mixture of all of that and just try to be sort of romantic and suave and just try to mix that all together. I just try to take the core of who he is, of like, in a sense, because of everything that's happened to him, he wants to be that good person. He wants to protect his people. And so I kind of take that protector and just kind of divide that and be like, but he's also funny, but he's also charming, but he's also angry, and he's also protective, and, you know, and just try to branch that from that one core idea. So,
I mean, it all does come back down to his need to protect and take care of everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you got Spike, because I was like, I don't know if people would get like Spike. Maybe Loki, but
our audience is a little younger, so maybe they don't get it. But, you know,
that's why I would say Loki.
Yeah. Well, homework assignment. They know what to do now.
Yes.
Yeah. And Spike, not Angel. Spike.
Yeah.
Spike is superior.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I'm a sucker for Angel, but I mean, even I've got to say, like, Spike, you know.
Yeah.
That's where that's funny. So, I mean, like, Melody, this is not part of the questions that we have lined up, but it just reminded me that Melody was saying that you all record independently and then it's merged together. So it's kind of amazing that you get to really think about what Rhysand is saying, why he's saying it, and staying true to that.
Yes. And that's also, you know, definitely kudos to our director, who is able to keep us focused. There are times where, because we're recording separately, that we might give a take where it might be a little bit too much or a little bit too low, and she's like, no, let's bring it up a little bit, or let's tone it down a little bit, or keep us focused in the scene. And like, this is great, but let's remember that this and this, and like, oh, right. And then we go right into it. So she does an amazing job to keep us kind of focused, even though we're separate. So,
I mean, I didn't even know you guys were separate at all. I was just like, everyone's together.
Right. Until Melody told us, we were like, what?
Yeah. So what you're saying is pure talent. Okay, cool. That's I knew there was talent, but now it's just next level.
Talent and imagination.
Yeah. I was about to, when we were talking Melody, I was like, oh, I could do this as a side hustle if I wanted to. And then the more I listened to her and listening to you, I'm like, yeah, no, I don't have that. I couldn't do that.
We barely can, because a lot of our podcast is scripted so that we can, you know, we know what we're saying. And the way that we butcher it regularly,
it's so bad.
It's so bad. Just we repeat, we have to go back, we have to edit, we have to make ourselves sound smarter. It's rough.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Everybody, I mean, we go through it too. Trust me, there are times where I go a little bit too far in some scenes, and she's like, okay, let's rein it back. So it's you know, it's a process.
Yeah. But at least you have a guide. Whereas Jac and I will be like,
oh, that's yeah.
Hey, you said that wrong. Say it again.
It's really a whole lot of like, I'll read something, be like, wow, I really nailed that. And Amy's like, you said family instead of fighter. And I'm like, I don't know why. Go back and say it. I'm like, fine.
That happens to me too on some other jobs where there is no director and I'm just self-directing. Yeah. And it isn't until I get out of the booth, start editing on the audio file, and be like, wait, I gotta go back. Like, no, wait. Let me redo that.
Do you do the editing part too for graphic audio?
Not for graphic audio, okay. But there are some gigs that I have where I have to edit it myself. So
I personally would love that extra layer of like,
right?
Like, yes, now I get to tell you what I want to sound like.
Right. But sometimes I have to stop myself because I'm self-directing and because I'm editing, I might go too crazy and just be like, let me go back and re-record. Let me go and then re-edit. No, let me go back and I'm like, okay, it's fine. Send it out. They will let you know if you have to re-record. So
right,
true.
Sometimes I get caught in that loop. I'm like, somebody get me out of here.
So it sounds like you bring a lot of energy to your role. What was the most fun? What scene or what book so far has been the most fun for you to perform?
That was a question that I'm still thinking, because there's so many moments where it's been so much fun. I think just for me personally, like, I think what we were talking about before was the first time that I was able to narrate as Rhysand, because it was first trying to get into the moment of what am I seeing? What is he saying? And then reading it and be like, oh my God, this is a battlefield. There's so much that he's seeing. There's so much that he's that's affecting him. But on the other side, the me side is like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like I'm narrating the book. Like it's usually Feyre and she's narrating and we're following. And then this is the first time that now we're seeing it through my eyes. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so cool. Okay. No, you gotta be sad. You gotta be like angry. Like people are dying. Right. People are dying. So there were a couple of takes where the director was like, you sound too happy. You sound too happy. You gotta remember. I'm like, all right. I'm so sorry. It's just this is so cool. It's my first time narrating, so I'm all right.
Well, I mean, there was like odd points where Rhys and Feyre were definitely happy. Like I think one part on TikTok everyone loves to kind of poke fun of is like, you know, the description is like there was a bat, like bodies were littered all over. The sound of death and pain, and then Rhysand and Feyre make love over it, or like and then she's like, and then we drowned out the pains of we drowned out the noise of the moan of the death with our love making. It was just like, really, you guys couldn't put like a little sound barrier because I know you're capable of it,
right? Yeah, those moments are fun. Those moments are
they're just those like so the writing. Yeah. We're like, huh, okay, so Rhysand's having fun, yeah.
That's so funny because I noticed it, but now you saying I'm like, right. Oh man, yeah, I'm gonna have to re-look at that now.
Oh wait, have you recorded that yet? Because then I don't want to get in your head before you record it.
No, I think we did. I think actually that was the last thing that we recorded, and at the time I was like, that's pretty Game of Thrones where you kind of go into another thing and it's like, wait, something crazy happened outside. I know. And it's just like, oh, okay.
It really does get more Game of Thrones. It's like, yeah, as it goes on, we're just like, okay, cool. So we're just gonna ignore. All right, that's fine. We don't need to address the like massive death and everything. Yeah,
they're in the moment. Yeah,
we should just be happy that they're not twins. You know.
Yeah.
Right.
Although we did get twins in Miss and Wing and Ruin. There were those the twins there too.
Oh, the twins, right.
Oh yeah.
You know what? This is very Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
No, but I think yeah, there's just so many, and but I think that one sticks out just because it was a challenge and fun at the same time because of that. So
yeah. So on the other end of the spectrum, which one was the hardest to record?
The hardest to record, and it really was just technical. And it's funny because I think I've seen a couple of, when I did kind of browse on TikTok, there was where I yell out Feyre, like I think for the first time, he's like Feyre, like, so the behind the scenes of that was after I think. Well, okay. I was recording something else before that. And then I was recording for, it must be 2 hours straight. And they were like, okay, now it's time to do the yells. And by that time, my voice was almost gone. And so I was like, okay, how loud do I have to yell? I was like, yeah, I mean, this is pretty important. You have to yell. Like, he's looking for her. It's Feyre. It's very, very, you're like angry. It's animalistic. It's this. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Feyre. Yeah. And I was like, give me a second. Feyre. And so I'm drinking water. I'm downing honey. I'm like taking cough drops. And finally we got it. But that was the hardest because I didn't know if I would be able to yell it. And then even in between takes, I was like, it's okay. Just shoot. And even the director's like, it's fine. Drink some water. You know, we turned down the gain on the microphone and I stood back and I just like yelled it out. And we finally got it, but to get there, it was pretty crazy because my voice was just like telling me like, hey, I'm almost gone, so you better get this.
I mean, and you're not just like yelling her name. It's that like desperate passion and fear and everything that goes. Because I know exactly the audio where it's like that music playing, and then it's like, you know, all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I absolutely know what audio you're referencing. So it's not just a yell. You're emotionally yelling. It's everything.
It's everything. So I'm here, but my voice is like, all right, let's try it out. I'm like, come on, you can do this. And I finally got it. I think it was like the third or fourth try.
Oh, wow.
Just like, Yeah, because especially the first one, it sounded like I was just going through a change of voice. It was like, Feyre. I was like, whoa, what happened there? And then the second one, I was like, okay. And then she was like, now put it all together, and then put it all together, and then we got that. So, and that was the last thing that we recorded that day. So it was like super important, and just get it. So
I always have to, like, not always, depending on my mindset, I have to like skip the audio because I'm like, it's too sad. Like on TikTok, where it'll be, sometimes I'm like, yes, this is a great video, and other times I'm like, I'm not in the right headspace. This is sad. It hurts. Melody was saying realizing that Rhysand was like dead behind her was one of her hardest ones.
Ooh.
And she said her favorite was like the steamy scenes, which I absolutely appreciated.
Yeah. Those are fun too. Those are fun too. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
The cult classic of chapters 54 and 55, like that's been
of Mist and Fury.
Oh my god, everyone has just spent like episode 1 of season 1 of Thorns and Roses. We were getting comments of like, so when are you covering episode 54 and 55 later? We will get there. It'll happen.
And it's funny for those steamy scenes, like I'm so used to being far away from the mic, and there's like determination and funny, and then just like, okay, here we go. This is like romantic scene, so I have to get closer to the mic. I have to kind of get in a whisper tone, and I have to really zone in. So I'm like, okay, this is like totally
and then the director's listening too.
Oh yeah.
This is I'm just unraveling the layers right now.
Because it's a little voyeuristic.
I know.
Well, so here's the thing. So like, I don't know if I should. Well, I'll say it. So in order to like kind of get the back and forth, like she will be like kind of the voice of Feyre.
Yeah.
So that way I have something to. So she's in there as well, and she's giving it like, she's like, come on, so it's kind of funny because I'm like, how is this gonna come together? If we're doing it separately, sense. But it works because she's there with us, and she's able to kind of guide us on, I'm pretty sure the same with Melody. And so it's just so funny because I'm like, oh, okay, this is so interesting because you're giving me that emotion and I'm giving it back, but I know that then it will be replaced
later.
Yeah.
And how will that work? But when I hear it back, I'm like, it works.
It's magic. Yeah, man, those soup and paint means something totally different on TikTok. I tell you,
it's true.
Yes.
Like people have tattoos of this. Like I'm just like, it's.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. This is so cool to hear about all this stuff.
The next part that you're recording with Wing and Ruin, is it the final set of Wing and Ruin, or is it the middle part of Wing and Ruin? I can't remember.
I believe it's the final one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's the third part. Yeah.
Melody talked about Rhysand dying, of course. So now that you're spoiler. So now that you're nearing the end of Wing and Ruin and this, 3-book arc with Rhysand, what is your favorite thing about him?
I think because it's like my North Star of the character is like, I like that at the end of the day, he's a protector. Like he wants to protect his people. He wants to protect Feyre. He wants to protect his image in a way. He wants to protect people from certain truths. And I think that to me is what I value and what I keep in my head is like he's being, and I kind of do like when he's being jokey and suave in that way, because I love those parts to like poke at certain characters, when he's in that mode. It's just like it's so fun to do that. But in my head I'm like, but I know that at the end of the day he's a protector, and he would do anything to protect the people that he loves. And I think that to me speaks a lot in where I guide my performance, especially in those moments where it's like, why did you not tell us about this? Certain characters like, why did you say this? And he's just like, I can't say that because the truth would be so much more devastating. And so I rather just you think that this is the truth, or that this is my decision, and then surprise, no, I didn't make that decision. It's something else. And I think that's what I admire about that character. I mean, it's like you articulated it so well, because everything that's positive and negative about him comes from his need to protect. So all of his great qualities, all of his great moments, it's because he's trying to protect the people he loves. But then all of his extremely flawed moments
comes for his need to protect.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
you're spot on. You called it exactly.
Oh yeah. As I was reading it, as I was acting it out, I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like I get why he's doing it. I mean, there are some times where I'm like, oh no, why did he do that? Okay. Protect her.
Yeah. Have you read Silver Flames yet?
Not yet, no.
Okay, I won't spoil anything then for that one.
Yeah,
Because I was about to say something and I'm like, no, that's a Silver Flames, which is so interesting because you're getting it all from Nesta's point of view. So it's almost like you're getting a new Rhysand. I don't know if I spoiled that. Shit. I'm sorry.
Interesting. No.
Okay.
I love that. Oh, that's great. Now I can't wait to read it.
Because, I mean, like, for that one, you're getting, like, you know, everything that you're seeing from Rhysand is from Farrah's point of view or even his point of view.
Yeah.
But then you have a character like Nesta who has, like, such a history with him. And you can see hints of it in their dynamic in Wing and Ruin and even in Mist and Fury, that you see a side of him that I will say TikTok struggles to connect with the Rhysand that we know. But I think you're going to find, I mean, I believe in you and your strength and ability, but it's just, you know, it's still him. He's just viewed through a different lens.
Yeah.
Right. It's a different side of him, of what what another person sees.
Yeah. It's the interpretation. Like, what is his what his actions, what does that come across from a different person? That's not Farrah.
Ooh. I can't wait. I
yeah.
can't wait.
I'm really excited to hear you deliver that one.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting interpretation.
Yeah. I hope Graphic Audio does Silver Flames. I think they will. But
yeah, I think we're doing the whole thing.
Yeah, because then that way I'm like, that one I'm gonna look forward to extra.
I can't wait. Yeah, I love reading it as I go. So I just focus on the book, and then once we move on to record the next, I'm like, okay, let's deep dive, let's check this out. So it's interesting to see kind of as I'm reading it, as it's going, like, oh, now this is happening. Oh, that was interesting. I didn't expect that. And then we go to the next book. So just hearing that now, we're almost seeing it through a different point of view is already the actor side of me is like, yes, more layers, get more different.
You're going to get layers. And I'm very confident because Amy and I, when we talk about Silver Flames, and we talk about the disconnect that a lot of readers see with that character, we're pretty aligned of like, it's not that big of a disconnect. Like, it's there. So I have full faith that you're going to find that too. Or you're going to message us and be like, you guys were wrong. This
is so much more complex.
Yeah, there's nothing of this guy from Rhys that I know in here.
I think I might do that just to trick you. It's just be like, you know what? You were totally wrong.
And then at that point, we will have forgotten what we said, and I will have a heart attack.
No. It's. I will say thank you for the heads up, or thank you for the
spoiler. Sorry. Yeah.
No. It's
okay. So before we head out, are there any projects that you're working on that you'd like to mention? And then how can people find you if you want to be found?
No, totally. As for the finding part, totally. I'm at Ant Palmini on every social media that there is, with the exception of Pinterest. I haven't really got into that yet. It's funny because somebody had asked me that the other day. They were like, "Are you on Pinterest?" I'm like, I'm not, and I don't.
That's such a specific thing to ask you. Like, huh? Didn't realize it was 2010, but okay.
Secretly, he has a Rhysand board on his Pinterest.
Right?
It's just like your vision board of him, like what you imagine.
Oh my God. I might actually just do not.
Yeah, please create the Rhysand vision board on Pinterest and then just share. Like we'll blast it out there.
Oh
what would
my
Rhysand
pin? So it's Ant Palmini on all the social media. And then as far as projects, there's one that I'm still figuring if I should talk about, and I don't think I can yet, but it is including somebody else from this book series, another actress. And it should be very fun. It sounds like it's going to be a very cool project.
That's amazing.
And I don't know if I could talk about it yet, but I just will give that kind of nugget of like, it's going to be very, very cool. It's going to be a very cool project. I can't wait to do it with this other I said actress. So this other
individual.
But other than individual, thank you. This other individual from this series.
So if anyone wants to know what that is, then they got to follow you on Instagram and everything else.
Yes, coming soon. So other than that, I'm doing, there's some stuff, again, it's that's still in the works that I cannot talk about. But when it does, if you follow me on my socials, I'll definitely, promote it. And it'll be fun.
I mean, you're the High Lord of the Night Court, so we all must follow our High Lord.
Yes. Only when I allow you to.
The most Rhysand thing you can do. I will give you the knowledge when I deem fit.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Yes. When I deem it fit, then you'll know.
Yes.
You'll know when
We were talking about, like in one of the episodes, we were talking about how it was like right when Farrah goes into the Weaver and she's like super pissed off at Rhys and she's like, you didn't tell me like it would be like that dangerous. Like what, like, don't you ever do that again. Right. It was the Weaver. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
And then Rhys was like, duly noted. And he never promises her that he won't hide.
He won't do it again.
And then like, so when we're getting the whole, like, you lied to me about the mate, you said you wouldn't do it. I'm like, he didn't. He just said duly noted.
Duly noted. He noticed your feelings and then ignored them.
Exactly.
Your feelings are valid. Your feelings are real. But I'm not dealing with that like that. Duly noted.
Duly noted that you feel very angry right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want me to do this again? Yeah, you don't want me to do this again? Duly noted. Okay. Yeah. That's one of my favorite parts, honestly.
Yeah. I love those lines where it's just like he's sneaky.
Yes.
He's sneaky. He knows what he's saying.
So sneaky.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for your time and for talking with us and giving us all of the inside scoop. And I can't wait for our listeners to hear this, because the insight that you brought with Rhysand, to me, it gives more to the performance. I'm excited to go back and re-listen to you do his voice and do like the performance and just kind of know where you're coming from.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone who requested this. And again, I try my best to do the best Rhysand that there can be. And thank you for having me on. Thank you for reaching out, and it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to be on this podcast. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, I'm gonna request something, and it could be so cringy, and you can say no.
Okay.
Oh, great.
For the listeners, can you give us one Farrah darling?
Okay.
We won't. Amy, hide your face.
Hello, Farrah darling.
That was Rhysand right there. Look at that.
Thank you.
Thank you. And on that note, I hope our listeners enjoyed. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to this special episode of Book Talk for Book Talk. We encourage you to rate and subscribe to our show on your preferred podcast listening platform.
As we gear up for Season 3, where we will deep dive into A Court of Wing and Ruin, we will continue to share between-season thoughts, interviews, and exclusive content.
We would love to hear your thoughts based on today's conversation. You can submit your comments to our form at booktalkforbooktalk.com for a chance to have your feedback discussed during a weekly mini-episode.
If you are enjoying the podcast, visit our website, booktalkforbooktalk.com, to view our latest merch and to learn about supporting the show through Patreon, Ko-Fi, or Venmo.
Fall has officially started here in Los Angeles, and that means we finally get to do fall activities.
I have been counting down the days for when I can go to pumpkin patches, maybe even hit up an apple orchard, and I get to do all of it looking super cute in my Quince boyfriend sweater.
This weather is perfect for my dark academia vibes, and I'm so excited to bust out my washable silk blouse because you know I'm going to be taking pictures.
Quince is known for their Mongolian cashmere sweaters from $50. And that's not all. Quince has so many other amazing things on their website.
All of those items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands.
That includes leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim. Like, my entire fall wardrobe is genuinely turning into Quince wardrobe.
By partnering directly with top factories and cutting out the cost of the middleman, we get savings as the customer.
One of my favorite parts about Quince is the fact that they only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. And they still manage to get premium fabrics and finishes for that, luxury feeling for every item that they have.
Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/booktalk for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/booktalk, BOOKTALK, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. That's quince.com/booktalk.